Today I'm taking a look at the newest version of the Open Bible, New King James, from Thomas Nelson. They've recently printed it in the new comfort print type. This is brown genuine leather, 72,000 cross-references, extensive topical index, lots of little features and notes, and let's take a look. The brown genuine leather looks and feels really nice, really elegant. It's not overly soft, but it's not stiff either. Has a nice grain to it. See the Open Bible, New King James, Thomas Nelson on the spine. Now these are printed on, they're not raised hubs or anything like that. It does have perimeter stitching, paste down liner, and I'm not sure the GSM of this paper, but I think it's the same paper as the Preaching Bible. Let's compare. Let's look at the Preaching Bible real fast. About the same leather, actually. Very similar. So, yeah, about the same paper. That would make this around, well, they said it was 36 GSM. It feels thicker than that to my fingers. It really does. You could convince me that's 40 GSM. This is made in China. And this covers the features, topical index, and all the charts and all the little feature things in there. Okay, so we'll just dig in. All right, so we start off with how to study the Bible. Nice little article about Bible study. Really detailed. Talks about personal Bible study. Some good information and examples. If you're hearing some weird sounds in the background, I promise you that's not my stomach. That is the wind blowing a tree next to up against the side of the house. I live in an old house, and we got trees. Anyway, family study Bible, and then it covers, or family Bible study, and then it covers principles of Bible interpretation, and then Christian's Guide to the New Life. All the highlights are in this dark red. I love that red. I also love the dark print. I'm a fan of dark print. So here's our topical index, 200-page index. So that covers a lot of things. There's a lot in there. Tons and tons and tons of stuff in there. This is excellent for study. Excellent for sermon prep. Really good index. Just flip through a page or two here, let you see what all's in there. Some excellent things. Let's look at God, what they've got there for God. Supreme Being, and then here's names and titles of God, manifestations, narrative attributes, moral attributes, human expression, Godhead, godliness. Excellent. A lot of good stuff in there. So that's one of the strengths of the Open Bible, is that topical index. Almost a 200-page topical index. And then after that, we've got reading through the Bible in a year. And then we get into the books of the Bible. Each book has a 3 to 4 page introduction, and they cover the book itself, the author, the time frame that it was written, the things and events that are going on during that time, Christ in that book, the keys of the book, what are the key verses, the key points, the key themes, and then a survey of the book. And that goes over basically a little bit of an outline, but it's not the same as this outline, which this is a really detailed outline that highlights pretty much everything in the book. And then we get into the Bible itself. Double column, verse by verse, even though this is a New King James, is verse by verse. However, it still has poetic setting. So if you go back here to the poetic books, it still looks like poetry. This is my favorite way to do verse by verse. I want a King James like this. I want a King James where you look at a letter, it looks like a letter, and that's exactly what this is. Poetry looks like poetry. Now you hear that sound? That's a little bit of what they call cockling in the spine. It's a wrinkle in the pages right here where it's put together. This one has a lot of cockling in it. I still like it though. I mean, it's not going to keep me from using it, but that, you know, it is a little bit noisy. 72,000 cross references are in the center column, and it does include the full translator's footnotes for the New King James, which is this is a strength of the New King James, in my opinion, because it points out what the manuscripts are. It doesn't say oldest manuscripts or best manuscripts. It tells you what manuscript has what variation, and you can decide for yourself which is best or whatever. But you've got the information you need to do the study. And then everything is in the dark red, kind of a wine red maybe. I want to know exactly what that red is, but it's really nice. So red highlights, and then dark section headings. Now, I think they call this a 9-point font. To my eye, it looks smaller than that. That's when it's compared to a Times New Roman. It actually looks, I don't know, I might call it an 8-point or even a 7.5 point, maybe even a 7. Depends on what you're comparing it to, and that's really the key. The thing is, though, it is so sharp and dark and easy to read against this white paper that it doesn't really need to be much bigger than this. It works. I've preached from this. I read from it. I've taught from it. It works really well. So let's get over here in the New Testament. It is a red letter edition, and the red looks really nice. It's a good bold red. I like a good bold red, and this has got it. It's there. Then between the Testaments, let's go there. We have the survey, visual survey of the Bible. And then that just includes a lot of charts. A lot of charts that show visually the time frame of the Bible. So a lot of timelines. Basically just covers the Bible history. Really nice. This has been a popular set of charts for the Open Bible. Really nice. Really good detailed. I like those maps too. And then now we're into the New Testament. And then we get into the end. Now in the back here we've got some tools. Let's take a look. Harmony of the Gospels. Really detailed chart. I'm loving that red. I really am. It's a really nice, good dark red. Okay, let's see. We have the Jewish calendar, Jewish feasts, table of monies, weights, and measures. Several good tables there. Teachings and illustrations of Christ. So this is another index. It's a little bit smaller. And then prophecies of the Messiah fulfilled in Christ. Parables of Jesus, miracles of Jesus, the laws of the Bible. Between the Testaments, so this is the time frame between the New Testament and Old Testament. The history just goes through showing what all happened, who's who, etc., etc. And then we have the Apocrypha. This is information about the Apocrypha. It doesn't actually have the Apocrypha, but it talks about what the books are. And then Scarlet Thread of Redemption. That's been a popular article about redemption through the Bible. A guide to Christian workers. So this is a witnessing tool. How to witness. How to go about witnessing to someone. And that's fairly detailed. And then we have prayers of the Bible, and then a concordance. Now this is, let's see, I looked at the number. I forgot the number exactly, but it's a good size concordance. This is a really big concordance. 200 plus pages, if I remember correctly. But I will just show you how many it has for God. Well, let's see. So we start here, and then it gives you all these other things you can look up, and then it gives you some topical information, and then it starts down here with the references. So there's how many references we have for God. Then we have God the Father, Goddess, Godhead, Godliness, Godly, Gods. So quite a bit of information. I didn't mention it, but here are 3 nice ribbons. Red, blue, and brown. Really elegant ribbons. So yeah, this is an excellent Bible. A lot of good study information here. And there's one more thing I want to show you about study before we're done here. But we have the Zondervan Maps, which are really colorful. They don't have an index or anything like that, but nice maps on good paper. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of maps. And the other thing I was going to show you is at the bottom of every page, not every page, but at the bottom of some pages, we have a study. And this is basic doctrines, foundational doctrines. And what it does is it gives you the topic, and then it tells you where to turn for the next in that topic. And so there's lots of topics throughout the Bible. There are not a lot of them, but there's quite a few. See if I can find a couple more. See, most of the pages are clear, clean, easy to see. So here we have the Davidic Covenant, and then a little bit of information, and then where to turn to next. And then quite a few in the front, then the Noahic Covenant, etc. for Adam. So studies. So basically these are topical doctrinal studies. And of course, you know, they're going to have some theology and that sort of thing. So always do your own study. Use this as a good tool. This is a good tool. This is a really good study Bible because it gives you a lot of tools to do your own study, especially the topical index, 72,000 references, and then the concordance. That's a really good concordance. So let's take a look at the size of this thing. Let's see what we got here. 9.5 by 6.5 by 1 3/4. So decent size. See how much it weighs. 3 pounds, 0.6 ounces. And while we're at it, since I had that preaching Bible out, let's take a look at how they compare. Similar in footprint. The preaching Bible is thinner. Really similar in footprint. So, preaching Bible is thinner. And then the preaching Bible has quite a bit larger font. It's a 11.5 point font. And it also has the 72,000 references. But they're in the footer, and it does not include a concordance or maps. So if you're looking for a Bible for study, this one, the Open Bible, is great. You know, it's got a lot of good information in there. If you're looking for one to preach from, I've preached from this with no trouble. This one is easier to preach from, and it's kind of obvious why. I mean, it's just a larger font. Both are in verse by verse, so both are easy to preach from. Another thing I like about this one is it gives you parallel passages in the headings. So anyway, the new version of the Open Bible from Thomas Nelson, they did provide this in exchange for an honest review. And that's always what I give 100% of the time, an honest review. I like this Bible. It's a good Bible for study. It's a good Bible for preaching. So I'll place links in the notes for so that you can see the written review and so that you can make a purchase. And if you do use my links, it does help me to keep this channel running, keep my website running. My website just got quite a bit more expensive, like 4 times more expensive. But if you do use them, I do appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. Please like, subscribe, etc., etc. Thanks for watching.